Okay, welcome to the channel. This video is going to be on quite a controversial topic, which is why I don't like cardio for fat loss. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, just to introduce myself, my name's George. I run a health and fitness coaching business one-to-one. Primarily, I work with software engineers, CEOs, and founders to help them recomp, which is lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Last year, I helped clients lose £100 in a year. I've helped clients on the other end of things who are a lot more advanced get to Nordic curls, 30 kg weighted pull-ups, 10% body fat, handstand push-ups, list goes on really. I say all this stuff so you know you can trust me when I say that cardio is not the tool you think it is for fat loss. And when I'm talking about cardio, I'm talking primarily about things like running, because I've got a whole list of reasons. I want to go through with them. I want to provide as much value in this video as possible. Hopefully, you train a little bit more the way I do to get into incredible shape. So, first reason is the opportunity cost. If you are busy, I'm going to make that assumption, you probably only have a certain amount of time to train anyway. Now, this will lead me into the second reason, which is, are you natural or are you not? Because if you are natural, you are not going to be able to train more than 3 days a week lifting weights in order to progress. Because you're going to run into plateaus which are based on, is your body recovering not to just replicate but also to progress? The problem with running is there's an opportunity cost. It's split attention, and that's, anyone can say, I'm going to overcome the attention deficit. I can train hard and focus every single day for the rest of my life, or maybe you only intend to do it for a period of time until you lose all the fat. Whatever. You probably can't. That's the reality. You're probably not going to be that focused. But it's not even the focus side. It's output. It's your central nervous system. When you run, it depletes you. And then your ability to do the thing which is going to move the needle forward the most, which is lifting weights, which is, in my sense, weighted calisthenics. So if you are an extreme beginner, you should start with the bodyweight stuff or the assisted bodyweight stuff, and then build yourself to the weighted variations, because building muscle in that deficit is going to be the best thing that you should do from a training standpoint. It's going to improve your basal metabolic rate probably by about 20 calories per pound of muscle that you build, and that's at resting. So you've got to consider that when you do move, that you're moving more weight around with more power, and that accumulates over time. So the problem with the problem with running is that you are impacting your ability to get stronger, which is going to drive muscle growth. That's the opportunity cost, whether it be focus, which it is going to be for a lot of people, but many people do think that it can overcome that, or it will be more likely the opportunity cost of not building as much muscle. So this leads me into the second part, which is maybe you feel you've got enough muscle already and just naturally doing a little bit will maintain it. First off, good for you, because you have a lot of muscle mass if you can actually do that. But the other side of it is running creates responsibility. That's what I say to a lot of clients. And by the way, I don't tell clients that they can't run. I've got clients who've done marathons. I've got one that's doing a marathon in maybe like 4 or 6 weeks. From this recording of the video, it's not something I'm like, no, you can't do that. But don't be telling me that your main goal is to lose fat right now, because it's not going to happen. And I know that is a crazy thing to say, but with the clients who do marathons, they are not losing fat at the same rate they were before they started. Maybe for the first couple of weeks when, you know, all the water weight drops, but there's a responsibility that you have to take into account, which is you're going to burn a bunch of calories, and then your body's going to adapt, and so you have to run further to burn the same amount of calories. But now you have to replenish glycogen during and after, just so that you can perform. The likelihood that you're going to do that so accurately that you can stay in the deficit and that you're not going to go over, not that high. And when you're running long distance, what happens? Your body is going to make adaptations to facilitate PRs, and a lot of the time that is losing muscle mass. So if you're not doing if you're not lifting at the same time, which when you run ridiculous amounts, for example, you're probably not going to do. You are going to lose muscle mass at the same time. Staggeringly, it's not about protein intake. It's about resistance training and making progression along, through the rules of hypertrophy. And so, if you don't do that, for every 10 pounds of weight you lose, 3 pounds will be muscle. And that is not an exaggeration, especially when you're running, because your body doesn't want you to have muscle. It's thinking, this is a bunch of dead weight that I'm not using. Why would I keep all this? And you can see that in runners' physiques. And so, just to reiterate, it makes sense that burning more calories is better for fat loss, but you already are losing focus. And if you want to get stronger in the gym, you do need to focus. You need to have this eye on progression. Or at least if you're working with me, I have to have the eye on progression. And yeah, but you have to do the thing. You have to make the progression. You have to take action on the extra rep or the slower eccentric or adding 5 pounds or whatever it may be. And so it's important to recognize that you can't have it all, you can't do it all. And if you do want to accelerate the speed of your fat loss through activity, and you're thinking, well, I can't keep dropping my calories to go faster because that's going to slow T3 conversion. I may reduce fats and carbs to the point that the cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. These are all valid points. You don't really want to eat lower than your basal metabolic rate. However, and it's a big however, there is a better option for losing fat from output, which is going to be walking. Because all of the benefits of burning calories that you're thinking about are going to come through excess steps. So if you do, let's say, 10,000, 12,000, even 15,000 steps, then you're going to burn not just as many calories as marathon training, but a large amount, a significant portion of that will be burned. But the thing is, you're not going to need to eat it back. So you don't have this increased electrolyte demand that you would have. You don't have an increased calorie demand. It's just the strain on time. And so if you don't have that time, you can litter it in through the day. And again, that's going to be even better for not impacting your desire to eat back food. So you can do that through the day, really. And also, it'll keep your energy up, so natural calorie burning will be higher. And this is a factor which is important. If you train too hard, or you won't progress in the gym, if you eat too little, your metabolism will slow down, so T3 conversion will drop. You will not burn the same amount of calories that you are used to burning. A lot of people try to fight this by increasing protein intake because it's got a higher thermic effect to food, but it just exaggerates the problem because you're going to have even less fats and carbs, which will lead to either the metabolism slowing, or for most people, it's the binge eating. And running justifies binge eating because people do the maths in their mind. They're like, well, the watch says I burn 1,500 calories, so let's go eat back 1,000, and I've still got I'm still on track for a pound of fat loss per week. Not how it works. Just not how it works. There's too many factors in the whole process. So from a physiological perspective, from a focus perspective, from an opportunity cost perspective, running is awful. Now we haven't even talked about, and when I say cardio, I am primarily talking about long distance cardio. You could make the argument for sprinting as well. The argument for sprinting or Pilates and circuit training, high rocks, like the argument for that is just opportunity cost, because you can't, and that one's a lot more obvious because you can't exert yourself in the way that you do with sprints and then just go do a bugger and a split squat. You've got to make a choice. All the benefits you're getting from sprints, you're getting from proper resistance training. The epoch benefit is all the same. It may be a small increase for sprints, but it's just not worth it. Again, you're not going to build muscle, so zoom out, not worth it. And when you look at sprinters and say, well, they've got a lot of muscle mass, did they build it sprinting? Are you that naive? So people do what they're good at. That's people go into sprinting after they've built all this muscle in an athletic manner, probably, with something like weighted calisthenics, and then they find it nice and easy. So you got the point. I don't like cardio for it. I think I've made pretty great reasons. My alternative is get more steps in, be patient, wait, like keep doing these things consistently. And you might be thinking, well, I want to lose weight fast. I want to lose fat fast. I want to build muscle fast. Yes, but that's not about doing more. It's about doing better. It's about quality. Like, if you sleep better, you are going to have less ghrelin in your blood. You're more likely to stick to your diet. You think that it's a given that you're going to follow everything perfectly. It's not. So just by creating conditions which make adherence easier, you're going to speed up fat loss beyond the rate you expect. That's how to do it. Now, if you're already doing everything perfectly, bump up the steps. Then, let's say you're already doing everything perfectly. You've bumped up the steps and now you're running out of time. Put a backpack on. Because that excess weight that you've lost, fat is metabolically active. Not that metabolically active, but it's more so than dead weight on your back. So when you put a backpack on of 10 or 15 pounds, you are going to burn a lot more calories per step. That's a clever idea. You have to manage this though. You can't just be like, now I do all of my steps with a backpack on, because it's not the small progression you think it is. It's huge. So once in a while you do that. But there's always a progression that you can make with cardio, with steps, which fits into your schedule, which doesn't have the same responsibility that running does. And finally, the last thing that I forgot to mention, which is huge, is that you get injured running. It's not just from a central nervous system standpoint that you reduce your ability to train and build muscle. And by the way, whenever you're seeing people who have got really good physiques while running in a hybrid, no, they lifted, then they started running. If you lift properly, you will be good at running already. You won't. Like most bodybuilders, I know it's crazy to say, and I don't really mean bodybuilders. I mean people who are in like top 5% shape, which isn't hard to reach, by the way. Just 80% of your physique will be top 5% in the world. But if you build some muscle, hit some strength standards, you'll be able to run a marathon if you've got it mentally. Whereas there is no marathon runner who can lift at any decent strength standard. So the best thing to do is learn to lift. Now, the final point I was going to make was you're going to get injured running. So that's another reason not to. The impact on your joints is huge. The progression, the scale that you need to do to match calorie burning when your body gets efficient is really quick. That's why, again, running marathons is not hard. It's not hard to train to do that if you have a base from lifting, I should say. But losing fat, it's not about more, it's about targeting. And so nail your diet, then you can scale steps, make sure you're getting stronger in the gym. That will give you better results than trying to run. You can just not listen though and learn it the hard way. I hope that you don't though.